Okay, let's dig into what's really becoming a huge story. I mean, this whole legal situation with Sean Diddy Combs.
Yeah.
It's taken this incredibly dramatic, almost like mind-boggling turn with Bishop T.D. Jakes suddenly being involved.
It's pretty wild, and what jumps out immediately is how quickly the whole narrative shifted, you know?
Exactly.
We started with these really serious allegations against, well, a huge music figure,
Right.
and now, boom, we're looking at potential fallout for a major religious leader. It just shows how these worlds, they can be way more connected than you'd think.
Totally. So for this deep dive, we're going to focus really sharply. We need to look at the main allegations against Diddy, especially the really disturbing stuff coming from Cassie Ventura's testimony.
Right. The details there are intense.
And then this surprising, really complicated link that's now being drawn to Bishop T.D. Jakes.
Yeah, and to get a handle on it, we've been looking at these excerpts basically from an audio recording. It
Yeah.
talks about trial info, commentary.
Gives you that raw feel.
Exactly. It's pretty unfiltered. Lets us see the accusations, how they're being, talked about and spun.
Yeah.
So our mission here really is to cut through all the noise, get to the absolute core of it.
Yeah.
We want to map out how these different allegations and people connect. Try to understand the bigger picture for celebrity culture, power dynamics, all that.
Makes sense.
We're aiming for clarity, basically,
Yeah.
giving you the key info without drowning you in every single detail.
Okay, so starting with Cassie Ventura's testimony,
Yeah.
what hits you first is just how serious her claims are. I mean, that CNN report,
Oh, yeah.
the 2016 hotel video,
Yeah.
where Diddy allegedly hits her, kicks her as she's trying to leave, that gives a really stark visual anchor to everything else she's alleging about abuse.
Absolutely. And that alleged attack, it's just one piece of this much, much bigger and, frankly, deeply upsetting puzzle. We're talking accusations of, like, forced physical contact, not just with Cassie, but kind of shockingly, with other people in Diddy's circle, too. And the specifics that have come out in these proceedings, they are exceptionally disturbing.
Yeah. Like the claims Diddy forced her into degrading acts, rubbing escort semen on his nipples.
Right. And the escort testimony, being asked by Cassie to, well, urinate in her mouth while Diddy watched. I mean, these accounts, they paint this awful picture of, like, total coercion and control.
It's hard to even process. And it gets somehow even more harrowing. Cassie testifying she was allegedly forced to end a pregnancy during these, what they called freak-offs.
That's deeply upsetting.
And she claims she had constant health problems, UTIs, mouth sores supposedly linked to these sessions.
Uh-huh.
The whole picture is just profound abuse.
It really makes you ask about the level of alleged control, dehumanization, really.
Yeah.
That reported incident in Cannes, where Diddy allegedly just kicks her off a boat, leaves her with nothing,
Unbelievable.
and then showing her those freak-off videos on a plane, threatening her. It just points to this pattern of isolating her, intimidating her.
And then the alleged rape in 2018. This was after they'd supposedly gotten back together.
Right.
It just suggests this, like, deeply embedded cycle of abuse she apparently couldn't escape even when she tried to move on. It's just, yeah, a really disturbing story.
Okay, and now here's where T.D. Jakes comes into the picture, which is unexpected, to say the least.
It really is. What's so striking is how the focus seems to have just broadened out from Diddy to possibly include Jakes.
Yeah, their initial thing, the Kingdom Culture show on Revolt TV back in July 2021, that was presented very publicly as, bridging hip-hop and religion.
Seemed like a big crossover moment, a strategic move for both of them, really, expanding their reach.
Definitely. But according to the commentary we looked at, public perception seems to have done a, 180.
Yeah.
People started talking about sinister, deeper ties, especially after reports about some odd behavior at Jakes' own birthday party.
Okay, so that leads us to this TikTok video.
Right, the one that blew up. It used that phrase power bottom about Jakes at Diddy's parties. And that just lit a fire. Suddenly, the speculation wasn't just about them hanging out. It was implying, potentially illegal, improper stuff.
And the commentary suggests this isn't just random internet chatter. It claims there's alleged evidence, testimonies, videos, tapes, a USB drive.
Even a burner phone linked to Kim Porter, supposedly turned over by Cassie Ventura.
That's specific.
Very. And if you look at the bigger picture, the insider info suggesting Jakes allegedly slept with multiple men at Diddy's parties here and overseas,
Okay.
and that he was called a power bottom in those circles. That clashes hard with his public image, obviously.
Massively. Then there's the really explosive claim about a reported raid on Jakes' mansion.
Yeah, and allegedly finding devices, documents, potentially linking him to human trafficking, exploitation. That's a huge, huge escalation if true.
Deeply concerning. Now, obviously, need to be careful about the source of these reports.
Absolutely. But the commentary we analyzed really hammers this alleged raid and the claim that Jakes has basically vanished from public view since.
Which naturally just fuels more speculation, more scrutiny,
And the theory floating around is that maybe he's cooperating with the feds.
because of his long friendship with Diddy.
Exactly. The idea is he might know things, critical things, incriminating things. The commentary uses that phrase, he knows where the bodies are buried. Figuratively, you hope.
But maybe literally, too, given the context.
Possibly. That kind of inside knowledge, if he has it, would be incredibly valuable to investigators.
And the thinking is, he might be doing it to save himself.
That's the speculation. Shield himself, maybe expose what's being called the vile side of celebrity culture.
And it's having an impact. The commentary mentions 5 inmates.
Yeah.
People who used to respect Jakes are apparently shocked now.
Suggests a real sense of betrayal among some followers. And then there's that other really disturbing accusation.
The one from the young man.
Yeah, alleging Jakes took advantage of him at a party when he was a minor.
Okay, that, if true, is incredibly serious. Legally, ethically.
Completely. And, the commentary also brings up these long-running rumors in the African-American LGBTQ plus community about Jakes' own orientation.
Which clashes with his public denunciations of homosexuality.
Right, especially with his son's past legal troubles, soliciting homosexual encounters. It all creates this really complex and deeply troubling picture around him now.
Okay, let's pivot back to Diddy for a moment. The commentary really highlights this alleged pattern of behavior, right? Based on Cassie's account and also Virginia V's Gina Hume.
Yes, exactly. The accounts detail alleged forced abortions, coercion, control, real physical harm.
And the similarities between their stories are striking. Virginia V claims physical, emotional, intellectual abuse by Diddy.
Right, the attempted assault with a shoe, allegedly striking her face, bloody nose. And King Lo supposedly witnessed some of it. It just echoes so much of what Cassie described.
And Diddy allegedly trying to pay for Virginia V's abortion, too. It reinforces that disturbing pattern of alleged control over women's bodies.
The fact that you have multiple people coming forward with such similar stories, it definitely adds weight, serious weight.
Makes you ask some hard questions about power dynamics in those circles.
For sure. And the alleged role of escorts adds another layer. That testimony about the golden shower incident.
Yeah.
And the conflicting stuff about whether an escort, Daniel Phillip, maybe drugged Cassie or made her unconscious, though that part seems a bit unclear in the testimony itself.
But significant money was reportedly involved, paid to these escorts.
Suggests it wasn't just a one-off thing. This was potentially a regular part of these events.
And then Young Miami's past comments resurfaced about liking golden showers. In this context, you can't help but wonder.
Was that influenced by Diddy? Connected somehow? It raises uncomfortable questions?
Going back to Cassie's description of the freak-offs, even the ones supposedly done over FaceTime.
She called them physically painful, soul-crushing, said she needed serious recovery time afterwards.
It just emphasizes the alleged coercion, the degradation she says she went through.
And remember those old videos, Diddy getting IV drips with his mom?
Yeah. Seemed weirdly extravagant at the time.
Now people are speculating maybe that was part of like a post-party recovery routine. Puts a whole different spin on those gatherings.
And during Cassie's testimony about the alleged rape, Diddy's lawyers reportedly asked Alex Fine, her husband, to leave the courtroom.
Yeah, that speaks volumes, doesn't it? About how sensitive and potentially damaging that specific claim is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And how quickly Cassie's 2023 lawsuit against Diddy settled. Like, within days.
Right. Strongly suggests they wanted to keep those details, those very personal, damaging allegations, out of the public eye.
And the human cost. Diddy's own kids reportedly had to leave the courtroom during her testimony. The emotional impact.
It just shows how far-reaching this is. It's not just the people directly involved. It's families, friends, everyone close.
And the online chatter? People drawing parallels between Cassie's age and experiences and the age of Diddy's current female companions.
It fuels that public concern about a potential pattern, targeting younger women, maybe?
The commentary also mentions rumors swirling. Other people getting ready to testify against Diddy.
Yeah, and a possible global investigation. Maybe involving former Bad Boy Records execs. Suggests this could be way bigger than we even know right now.
Plus, the security footage from the raids described as potentially damning.
Graphic exploitation, abuse allegedly caught on tape. If that's true and if it surfaces, that could be critical in court.
And you have the possibility of insiders, people in his circle, maybe cooperating, cutting deals for leniency.
Suggests his support network might be crumbling under the pressure.
Ultimately, the public reaction, it's been intense,
Yeah.
overwhelmingly negative.
It feels like his reputation, his legacy, it might be irreparably damaged no matter what happens legally.
And like the commentary pointed out, the T.D. Jakes situation is its own cautionary tale, right? About power, public image, alleged hypocrisy.
A stark reminder of the potential fallout.
So the final thought really is that this whole unfolding mess, it could set a major precedent. Maybe it signals, I don't know, the end of an era where this kind of alleged unchecked power in celebrity circles just went unchallenged.
It definitely makes you question how we view celebrity, how we view religious leaders, and what needs to change to ensure more accountability.
So just to wrap it up,
Yeah.
we've walked through these incredibly disturbing allegations against Diddy, the really surprising, potentially devastating link to T.D. Jakes,
Yeah.
and the idea that this whole thing could have these huge ripple effects on how we see power in these elite worlds.
And stepping back, looking at that bigger picture, it really forces you to confront some uncomfortable truths about how abuse, exploitation can potentially happen right under the surface, even in these seemingly untouchable spheres.
So given this incredibly complex web, all these relationships, the alleged activities now coming out,
Mm.
what does it actually tell us about the hidden realities inside these circles and the potential for secrets, these long-buried abuses of power, to finally see the light of day?
It's a massive question.
It is a lot to think about. And this deep dive, we've only scratched the surface, but hopefully it's given you a clearer view of this really significant and still very much developing story.